Let me see what it tastes
It's
like.
still gin.
Is it good?
Why is he doing a Russian accent still?
Oy, my. Ay.
Dos vidania. All right. Next movie on our list, Eastern Promises, my favorite movie of the week. Obviously, we're all excited to talk about it because we're all freaking tatted up and goofy and having a lot of fun with this. So let's dive right into it. Eastern Promises, take it away, Jude.
Okay.
Look at that snake tattoo. Freaking strike of the viper.
I fucking love this right now.
I'm going to tell my wife.
I'm so into myself right now.
We're going to get a text message from Katie. She's going to be like, God damn it, Jude got a neck tattoo.
I can just say this is an S for my wife.
There you go.
Yeah.
Story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the snake.
For Slytherin, right?
I was trying to make it about you, and I was like, oh, nobody wants to hear that. This is a snake for my fiancé, the pendulum.
All over her neck. That's right.
Oh, God.
God damn it.
2007, Eastern Promises.
Pearl necklace, very good. Okay. Yeah, just second that bust on face. No big deal.
It
You
calms
stupid
me.
whore. You like it. It's come from Croatia.
Am I done with my examination? Get the fuck out of here so I can put my clothes
Come,
on.
I'm going to watch you fuck this bitch. Make you man. Yeah.
Yeah. What's this movie all about, Jude?
I didn't even get to the budget yet. 2007, Eastern Promises, rated R with a runtime of 1 hour, 40 minutes, 40. Had a budget of $50 million. What do you think this brought in?
I don't know. It's pretty popular. I remember it being a big deal. I'm going to say 100 million.
I don't know. I don't remember this movie. I'm going to say it broke even.
Okay.
Just
50 million? That's it?
Yeah.
All right.
$56 million.
Really?
Yeah. Vader
What?
wins a speedboat.
That's it? Man, I thought this movie's like from, I don't know. I always assumed it was a popular movie.
It's like I said earlier. Viggo, I don't think he carries movies that well.
This movie's dope.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I agree. This was my favorite of the week.
Yeah.
I thought he was fucking amazing in it. But is it a blockbuster?
No, it's almost like an indie movie.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that you're like, have you seen Eastern Promises? Because Viggo Mortensen is awesome in it.
Yeah.
Is it a movie that like everyone has seen? Fucking no.
No.
Apparently not. 50 million. That's crazy.
Fucking no.
I know. We're all tatted up in honor of this movie.
Yeah, like I loved it so much I went and got a neck tattoo.
We're probably getting laughed at by the Russian mob right now.
Me too.
Seriously, please don't come for us.
Yeah, no. We're just nerds talking about movies. Jude, go
I
ahead.
wear glasses.
What's this movie all about?
Naomi Watts just wants to find a family member of the newborn baby whose Russian mother died during delivery at the hospital where she works. When she asks her Russian uncle to translate the girl's diary that she found, he reads a little and then refuses to finish. A clue in the diary leads her to a restaurant where a sweet old Russian man takes a liking to her and agrees to translate the diary. Turns out, he's the head of the Russian mob, and the diary is all about how he and his son kidnapped, drugged, and raped that girl. The old man tells his driver, Viggo, to take care of the problem. Old man is impressed with Viggo's work ethic, and Viggo gets a promotion. When Viggo is set upon by spa assassins, he takes them all out in a knockdown, dicks-out brawl that he learns was a betrayal by Old Man Russia. Viggo was purposely mistaken for Old Man's son and was supposed to die. Now it's personal. He's going to take over the Russian mob and replace Old Man, but first, he's got to fix Naomi Watts' motorcycle and save that poor orphaned baby.
This movie is so dark.
Yeah.
It is very dark.
It's very dark. Like just the opening scene with this poor young girl who's pregnant, walks into a pharmacy and she's asking for help and she freaking gushes
She's
blood.
bleeding everywhere.
Yeah, and then you're like,
And
oh
like,
God.
she walks into a pharmacy and the pharmacist is like, you want methadone? You have to have a prescription.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm just going to bleed to death on your floor. And
Yeah.
he's like, cool.
Yeah, it was real dark. And then the entire plot is just Naomi Watts trying to save this poor freaking baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And everybody wants the baby
I just
to be
need this
dead.
thing translated, and she goes to the wrong place to get it translated.
It's just one bad move
I'm going
after
to go
another.
to the Russian restaurant, see if anybody there knows how to translate Russian.
Yeah, it's just
right?
I mean, I've seen this movie and I love this movie, but it's been a minute since I watched it. I forgot how freaking dark this was.
Mhm.
Like it goes down a real dark rabbit hole for a while. But the Viggo as the driver, assassin, freaking enforcer, dude.
I am driver.
Yeah, I'm driver.
I
That's
drive.
solid.
I go straight. I go right. I
Like,
go left.
That's it.
That's what I do.
I don't do anything. he's a badass in this movie, dude. There was that scene where
Clearly, you are clearly more than a driver, sir.
so Viggo is kind of like the bodyguard to the main Russian mobster's son, Krill. What's his name? It starts with a K, I think. But
Kirill?
this kid's like a complete loser, right? He's drunk all the time. He's
also a closet homosexual.
You think so?
Party boy Kirill.
Yeah,
He likes to watch.
Krill, whatever his name is.
He doesn't matter.
And Viggo's constant.
Well, the whole reason that they killed that guy at the beginning was because he was spreading word
Rumors.
that Kirill was gay.
Yeah.
Which
and
he
he's
is.
like obsessed with watching Viggo fuck girls.
Well, he's in love with Viggo, and that's why. So
Is that?
yeah.
I didn't get that out
I
of this
didn't
movie.
either, but okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, 100%. So he's the son of the Russian
Mob boss.
head.
Yeah.
And there are rumors that he's gay. And they can't have that in the Russian mob. So they have to kill the guy who was starting the rumors. But in the meantime, like, he's totally like enamored with Viggo Mortensen. And he like has him along for all of his adventures. And then at one point he's like, well, I'm supposed to be into this. So I'm going to say that my dad told me I have to watch you fuck a girl.
So in that scene where he's watching Viggo have sex with a girl, he said that I need to do this to make sure you're not gay.
Right. Yeah. He's
Yeah.
totally like taking it off of me and putting it on you.
But-
I got to make sure you're not.
But there's also a scene
Wrong.
where Viggo has to tell Simeon, the head of the Russian Mafia, about the rumors that his son's gay. And it doesn't shock Simeon at all. In fact, he basically confirms that like he knows his son's gay and it's shameful for him and all this other stuff.
Yeah. And it's even in the diary too when they translate it.
Yeah. And so like the son actually had nothing to do with the young Russian girl who I think was 14 when she got pregnant. It was all the father. The father was the one who raped her and stuff like that. And that's one of the reasons why he's so desperate to get the girl's diary and also get the baby and all this stuff to
Kill anybody who might have read about it.
Yeah, to erase any link to him.
Yeah. And that's kind of the crux of this whole movie is just like the complete eradication of
Anybody who might know anything.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Viggo, later on, we get a surprise little twist that Vigo's actually working for Scotland Yard undercover as a Russian agent.
Deep
Well,
undercover.
so
They're in league. He's not working for them.
You don't think he's working for them?
No, he's an FSB agent. Who,
Yeah, he's KGB. Well,
which formerly KGB.
right.
But he has a partnership with Scotland Yard where like he's infiltrating the Russian mafia and working with Scotland Yard to bring them down because the whole story takes place in London, right? So they're in Great Britain while this story is taking place. But he's a KGB agent basically, and at the end of the movie, he basically usurps Simeon's position and he becomes like the head of the Russian mob in Great Britain, and it's completely bonkers.
I love it. I thought it was great.
I dug it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's such a freaking badass in this
I'm
movie.
gonna start doing that
Well,
finger neck.
So
thing
Naomi
with
Watts' uncle, I guess, is
yeah,
also
so she's
Russian.
half Russian. Her mother was English. Her father was Russian. I think her father's dead or like he left or something.
He's dead.
So the Russian uncle was her father's brother, which is he's still like some kind of fucking, I don't know, deadbeat member of the family. And I hated him.
And he's always bragging about how he has ties to the KGB.
Yeah,
KGB adjacent.
Yeah. He's like, I was an analyst.
He's the whole fucking reason this thing went sideways in the first place. Because if he had just read her the diary, she would have learned what had happened and totally bypassed all of these fucking mob people.
Yeah, well, he's a piece of shit. I mean,
he's a piece of shit.
That dinner scene, like I hadn't seen this movie in a while.
He just wants what's best for her.
No. Listen, hold on
He's
a
like,
second.
hey, that's
There's
the whole
this-
reason your baby
Dude,
died
no,
inside of you.
Well, you know, if
Sorry,
you've been,
did I ruin it?
Yeah. I was gonna lead up to that, but that's okay. No, there was another one of these dark moments in this movie where they're at dinner and they're like arguing. He's like, "Well, you have a black boyfriend who's not here. Why they always run." And she's like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, that is why your baby died inside you. You're not supposed to mix race." And I was like audibly, I was like, "Oh
horrible.
shit!"
Yeah, it's
Horrible.
Like, it was like, it took me aback. I'm like, "Holy God, I can't believe they freaking said that."
Yeah.
That was terrible. He's such an ass.
And at the same time, like her reaction, I was like, that's all you're going to do? You're just going to walk away? Like, I
Yeah.
think I would have fucking pummeled my uncle
Yeah.
had he said some shit like that to me.
He was a piece of shit. In
Especially
this
if
movie.
you had that neck tattoo.
Right? Like, don't fuck with me. She needed a neck
Listen,
tattoo.
you need to get rid of that because you're going to go to jail. If you don't take it out.
Yeah, you look like you just got out of prison. Babe.
Then it'll wash off in prison and you'll get
Oh, shit.
called out as a poser.
Remember that time I got pulled over outside of my son's school and I was like
Yeah.
devastated the entire day?
Oh, yeah.
Let him come for me now.
Oh,
Not with
you know
this.
what? Honestly,
Not with this
listen,
neck tattoo.
if you had had that when the cop pulled you over, that thing would
I
have
would have gone to jail.
Different.
No, I would have gone to jail.
Completely different. You would have had your ass ran.
He would have been like,
your plate
oh,
checked.
oh shit. Yeah, don't do that. Also, here's $20.
He'd be like, "What strip club you work at?"
Anyway, I was really surprised. That moment was a shock moment for me when he said that at the dinner table. I literally, audibly, I'm watching it. I'm like, oh, like,
Right?
I was taken aback.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that guy's an asshole. That was a great moment as far as just like shock value. I wasn't expecting that, but Viggo as this freaking undercover KGB agent who's trying to infiltrate the mob. I was in, dude. Like, I'm sold, hook, line, and sinker. He's maneuvering like a political chess player. He's over there like messing with people's heads. He's trying to get in good with the father. The son's a piece of shit, and he's just like, "Well, it's okay. I'm just here to protect you," you know.
Also, he can fix motorcycles.
Yeah, I mean, the mailman used to have one just like it back in the day.
It's got water in it.
That was a joke.
He's
He's so cool.
Yeah.
He's so freaking cool. in this movie.
Literally, he's the coolest person.
Yeah.
yeah. He never loses his calm.
Never.
Never loses his temper.
Dude, that scene where
he's cool, calm, and collected the
He's
whole
like
movie.
chopping fingers off, and he's
That's-
like, "You
Yeah,
make
it's no
one to
big deal.
leave."
Yeah,
This
that
is what
scene
you-
where he's processing the guy who they assassinated.
Processing, which means you're just getting rid
Chopping-
of the fucking identification.
Taking all the teeth out and
Yeah.
chopping the fingers off. And,
Yeah.
he's talking to the guys there. There's like
I'm
two or
going
three
to
people.
listen to my podcast. You should go. Go get some food.
What's funny about he reminds me of a friend of mine that I used to work with.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
No, for real. His name's Igor. He's from Moldova.
Get the fuck
No,
out.
no, I'm not joking.
Bro.
For real. And
Does he have a cool neck tattoo like me?
he might have some tattoos. But no.
Does he have stars
my
on
friend,
his chest?
all I'm saying is my friend Igor. He's very calm, cool, and collected all the time. Never raises his voice, never goes below a certain level. And he always talks, like everything's going to be okay, and very similar. And just, he always kind of cracks me up the way his demeanor is. He's your stereotypical Russian guy, and he likes his vodka. And, I see like people think like these are like stereotypical depictions of these people.
No, that's legit.
But
yeah.
man,
I worked
not in the case of my friend,
When
because they nailed this shit. It's
I worked in
wild.
security. God, it had to have been 10 years ago now. I worked in security over at the casinos, and I had another security agent. His name was Potapov, and same thing. He carried around like 3 or 4 packs of like Russian cigarettes, and he's like, "These Russian cigarettes don't have any filters on it. It's just straight tobacco." He's like, "Your freaking American filters are bullshit."
Yeah.
Exactly the same
Tough
way.
people, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
tough
very
as
tough.
nails, dude.
You know what's funny is none of the actors who played Russians in this
Were
movie
Russian.
were Russian.
Yes.
They were all like, just look at Vincent Cassel who played Kirill. Like you can't find a more French looking guy than that dude, and he's out there playing a Russian.
He's good at playing a sleazeball though.
Yeah.
Like every
For
movie,
sure.
every movie I see him in, he's like some kind of a
just got
sleazy guy.
that Weasley face.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, for sure.
Makes you want to smack it
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
with your big Russian dick.
Wow.
he probably would.
He
like
would
that.
love it.
I was gonna say. But anyway,
Orphan is the New Black. Tatiana Mansley.
You mean Orphan Black?
Maslany. Yeah.
Orphan is the new black.
yeah, well, like, what the
It's
hell
not
is
Orange is the New Black.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Orphan Black. Tatiana Maslany.
Mm-hmm.
So she did the voiceover for the 14-year-old Russian girl.
She did.
So like whenever you hear her voice in the diary when Naomi Watts is reading the diary, That's her voice. I think this was like her first big movie that she was involved in, even though she never appears in it.
God, she's
It's
so
her
good.
voice. Yeah, she's really good.
That's cool.
Have you seen Orphan Black?
I have not.
Amazing.
Okay, I'll have to check
She
it out.
plays every character in it.
And she does a good Russian accent too.
She does.
Sister.
Yeah, sestra.
Anyway, the processing scene is one of my favorite ones where he's like, did you finish cutting his hair?
Cut his fingers and shit.
Yeah,
off.
cutting his fingers off, and he's like, you might want to leave for this. And he pulls the guy's wallet out, and he's like, did you finish cutting his hair? You might want the $650 for the haircut. And he starts laughing, and everybody else is like, oh my God, this guy's serious. And he's like, oh, it's kind of funny.
That was a joke.
So
I'm very funny.
So Viggo Mortensen actually based his character on Vladimir Putin. He,
I can see that.
Of course he did.
Yeah, he would watch Vladimir Putin on TV, like doing his press conferences and stuff like that. And he'd be like, man, nothing gets to that guy. He's like, I'm going to play it just like Putin. So like he's just playing Vladimir Putin. In this movie.
I wouldn't mess with that dude. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, Viggo Frankenstein is great. In this whole movie, you know, so
Viggo Frankenstein.
yeah, it's just
It's,
he plays a cool
Frank
comic collector.
Frankenstein.
okay, let's. All right, we got to talk about the naked.
Oh, the scene.
The scene.
The most awkward action scene
Wait,
ever.
the spa assassin.
The spa assassin.
See, I told Jude before we sat down to watch this movie, I was like, just so you know, this has the most awkward action scene you're ever going to see.
I wish
in any
that you
movie.
would stop telling me these things.
So this freaking scene, dude. So Viggo Mortensen gets framed for the assassination of this
Yeah,
character.
so they give him a promotion. They
Right.
give him the tattoos that look just like Kirill's,
stars.
the mob boss's son. Yeah, so they give him
Star-
the stars. He goes to the spa, and like some assassins come in. And they're like, "Oh, you're that Kirill dude,"
Yeah.
and they try to kill him. And he's like,
Butt ass
"This
naked.
is not your day."
Yeah, and he murders the crap out of two people completely naked.
Yeah, you see
Everything.
It's
And,
a very
like,
awkward scene.
It's super awkward, but also like, fuck, that was badass. I don't
Yeah.
know, dude. It was like, if he's at I'm sorry, I can't talk. He's at an extreme disadvantage in that situation.
Oh, yeah.
And he still comes out on top. I got Jude on that one. You just rolled your eyes. No, but it's
I'm just trying to picture this.
It's
Well,
funny.
that made me remember when they did a 69 in the last movie.
oh, in the freaking history of violence.
I'm just trying to picture this production meeting with Viggo Mortensen.
Right.
And he's sitting there and he's like, okay, so you want me to be naked the whole time? I don't understand why.
Like,
you know,
take all your clothes off.
it's like, no, full frontal?
Full.
No,
yes.
no.
It actually, honestly, like,
You want me to shave or?
it made me laugh because all I could think of was Norseman when Freya's like wearing the cock necklace and Orm is like, those are not normal size cocks. And then you see him in this movie and I'm like,
We're never going to get through a show without Norseman references.
oh, would you
ever again, are we?
calm your jets?
It's pretty funny.
It's good stuff,
I'm
man.
into it.
Did you not get the reference?
Please continue your
Yes.
thought.
It's just that, no, I'm done now. You took the wind out of my sails.
So
This is freaking.
I want to point out that the guy who directed History of Violence, David Cronenberg, also directed this movie. This is also a David Cronenberg movie.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And Alex, do you want to take a guess as to who wrote this movie?
Is this somebody I'm supposed to know?
I
So
think.
the writer of this movie is Stephen Knight, the showrunner of both Peaky Blinders and C,
Nice.
the guy who created both
Oh.
those series.
Wow.
And so like this was one of his early films. And so it's him and David Cronenberg making this movie. And, you know, coming off of History of Violence, Cronenberg had a relationship with Viggo, and so he cast him in this role. And the entire movie is basically like Cronenberg and Viggo's relationship, like working relationship, being like Cronenberg, like I want to showcase Viggo in this film. And
He showcased him.
Viggo owns every single frame of this movie.
Yeah.
But like when it came to that scene, so originally it was going to be like he was wearing a towel the whole time, and they were like, that's just not realistic.
Very realistic. Yeah.
And they were like, Viggo, how would you feel if you just did it naked? And he was like, I'd be good with that.
Props to him, dude.
God damn! I just
Sure.
want to be on a set with Viggo all of a sudden. I'd be good with that. Yeah.
Dude,
me too.
Viggo like really researches his roles. Like, you know, like every movie that we've talked about so far, like he went to like the Indian reservations and like did history on like his character. And with this movie, he actually like got a translator and went and talked to like actual Russian mobsters. And his portrayal was so authentic that like when he'd go out after filming, or if they were on a break, he'd have all his tattoos on. He'd go to like a local bar and everyone would think he was like the real deal and would like stay the fuck away from him.
Scatter!
Yeah.
That's what they're going to think when I go to Starbucks today.
When you go to the fucking grocery, I'm going to Whole Foods after this.
Like,
well, one of the interesting things about this movie is that the Russian mob never carries guns with them because it's too easy to get caught.
Mm-hmm.
So they always have like knives, like that's like their weapon of choice. And so there are no guns in this movie, like at all. All the violence, all the fighting is done with like knives.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the interesting things about this film to me is just like the nuance in every scene. Like there's that scene where Vincent Cassel's character, Kirill, forces Viggo to have sex with like this Ukrainian prostitute. And this girl, like she obviously didn't want to be there.
Oh, she's forced sex slave.
Yeah. She's basically like, white slavery. And you can tell that she's just barely hanging on by a thread. And when Viggo is done having sex with her, she's kind of lying on the bed and she's like singing herself like a lullaby to try to comfort her from like what just happened. And Viggo starts talking to her. And, the interesting thing about that is he starts speaking to her in Ukrainian as opposed to like Russian. Mm-hmm. And that's not something that like I picked up on the first time I saw this movie. Like I had to, read about it. But like little things like that where he's like talking to her in her native language and he tells her to like, hold on, things are going to get better.
And he's asking her very specific things about herself.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys notice that later on, Kirill says something like, would you believe the police came and took that exact girl and asked for her by name?
Yeah.
And that was a hint that he's actually working with Scotland Yard. And I'm like, I didn't realize that until I watched this movie twice this week. And I was like watching it again. I'm like, oh shit, he talked to her specifically, asked her by name, and then reported that to Scotland Yard.
Saved her.
And saved her, yeah.
And that body that he got rid of at the beginning of the movie, he actually put a message in there on the body so that he knew Scotland Yard would find it. And that was how he was able to check in with them and let them know what was going on.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot of like different layers of, stuff that's happening in this movie, especially on Viggo's end of things. Cause for a while there, you think he killed like Naomi Watts' uncle. And it turns out that like,
he just put him in a hotel.
Yeah.
5-star hotel.
I like that he was like, it kind of validates his whole, like, I worked for the KGB thing. Because when Naomi Watts confronts him about that, he's like, it's okay. He's old school. He knows how it works. He's like, oh, so like, it almost was like, yeah, maybe he totally did work for the KGB.
Well, he was an analyst, really.
Yeah.
He's like a Jack Ryan.
Yeah. It was cool. It was just a nice moment.
Makes me think that like the neck thing that he did at his uncle was like an undercover, dude. Like, don't worry, I'm going to put you up in a 5-star hotel.
So don't start doing that to people thinking you're going to give them a favor.
Yeah, I know. I probably shouldn't. They're going to be like, where the fuck is my weekend?
But I remember that being in like every trailer for this movie.
Really?
That's the most iconic shot from this film.
And I don't even know why. I don't know what it means.
It is not the most iconic thing that happened for me.
It just looks badass.
It's really like
aggressive.
I mean,
he stabs the shit out of his neck and then he stabs the fuck out of the air at you. It's aggressive.
What were you gonna say, V?
I was gonna say Viggo's dick is the most
iconic part of this movie.
For sure.
Okay, I'm glad you feel that way.
Yeah, it's just the way.
How often did you look at it in that scene?
You couldn't take your eyes off. I was deep into making buttons. And I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? Oh, it's Viggo Mortensen's dick fighting. Okay, whatever.
His balls are just flashing in the air.
It's a normal sized dick.
There's no big deal.
Thank you, Jude. Not the only one who does Norseman things. God. Anyway, I love this movie.
I loved
It's so freaking cool.
Yeah, it was
and
really good.
I don't have a problem watching it more than once. I think honestly, it gets better and better each time I watch it. The subtleties come out a little bit more. It's like a nice whiskey, you sip on it, kind of digest it a little bit, get it in your palate.
Like a vodka?
Vodka's just potatoes. It's just potatoes.
Yeah.
It's just potatoes. Don't look at me like that.
Your ass is just potatoes.
Okay.
This is true.
Final thoughts. Give it a rating, Vader.
I'm gonna go 3 stars.
That's solid.
Yeah. It's a good watch. It's fun.
Right
it's
on.
a dark movie.
Very dark.
It's a dark movie. It's not a feel-good movie. But I like mobster movies, and I haven't watched a lot of Russian mobster movies, and this is a good one. It's good.
Yeah.
I mean, the story's dark. Don't get me wrong. It's kind of depressing and it is what it is. But it's a good movie. I like it. It's good stuff.
Right on. Jude?
If you see me on the street with much more visible tattoos than I have in recent years, this movie is the reason. I'm so into myself right now. I have a lot of fake tattoos that I want to be real. I really like this movie. I'm upset because I watched this one first, so like the rest of the week was kind of a disappointment to me. But I really liked it, and I thought Viggo was fucking fantastic in it.
Yeah.
So for a Viggo Mortensen starring role, I give this 4 stars. This was amazing. He was fantastic in it. Everything that he did, he was totally believable as a Russian mobster. Loved it.
Cool. Kadish?
Yeah, this was my favorite of the week as well. Really solid movie. It's a movie you have to pay attention to.
Yeah.
And the performances were all freaking great. The direction was great. The story was great. I give it a solid 3 Viggo ball sacks out of 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's 10 balls, dude. No, it's 6 balls.
There's something we didn't talk about though, which
Yeah,
was
what's up?
in regard to the tattoos. They said like, oh, this dead body that we found, it has tattoos on its knees, which signifies that like you're a king in the mob and you don't bow to anyone.
Nope.
And I thought that was really cool.
That's all legit
it's
too.
Probably a real thing
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
that I'm just like a dummy being like, that's fucking cool.
Well,
But-
there's this whole scene where they have Viggo kind of stripped down to his skivvies and sit in front of like the
Hierarchy.
the
Yeah, well, I mean,
panel-
the panel of the Russian
that's basically like
lieutenants.
an Italian mob. That's when he gets made.
And the
Yeah, so-
like they ask him questions about all of his tattoos, and so every tattoo has like a story.
And he has
Stuff like
to,
that.
and he has
Very
to
interesting.
denounce his family and his
So do all
father
of
and his
mine.
mother. Yeah,
Yeah, it's cool. And I'm pretty sure that's all legit.
probably.
Like he went and talked to these, like Kadish was saying, he went and talked to these Russian monsters and was like getting the nitty gritty on how everything worked. And I think it translated fantastic.
Yeah.
Did you give it a rating? You said how many balls? What was it?
3 ball sacks.
3 ball sacks.
3 flapping in the wind ball sacks.
Wow.
I'm going to give this. I'm with Jude. This is a 4-star movie for me. I freaking love this movie. It's so good. I watch it anytime. You know, if I see it, if it's on, or if I feel like I need some Viggo Mortensen, some Viggo in my life. This is
Some Viggo.
This is the movie I turn to. Like,
some
I mean, I
Viggo.
love Lord of the Rings. Don't get me wrong. Lord of the Rings is fantastic. But if I want like Viggo Mortensen, Eastern Promises,
Yeah.
100%. And to tell you the truth, the way this movie ends, where he actually usurps the leader of the Russian mob in London, like I want to see the rest of that story, man.
I know, right?
Right?
I want more.
Well, there was a sequel plan, but it kind of just died on the vine, I guess.
Damn, dude.
Had you seen this before?
Oh yeah.
Okay. This was all 3 of these were a first watch for me.
Me
So
too.
I was very pleasantly surprised with this one.
I had seen Eastern Promise. This is the only one I think. What was the first one? Oh, Hidalgo. No, I saw Hidalgo too. So I've seen the only one I didn't see was History of Violence. But this movie is great. I love it. I would highly suggest if you're into monster movies, if you just like good damn movies, go check out Eastern Promises. It's awesome.